I'm more in tune. Let me put it that way. I'm more personally in tune with the booking on NXT than I am on Raw.
You and me both, and part of the reason why, who's booking, who's in, and you could say, yeah, Triple H is in charge of the creative team for WWE, but he's in charge, and I mean that in capital letters, of the booking of NXT. And I watched both shows this week, and we talked earlier. NXT was an A-plus on booking and work. And I guarantee you, if you're somebody listening to this that hasn't watched that show yet and you've never watched NXT before, start at the Bayley-Sasha Banks match and then watch Finn Balor versus Kevin Owens. Just watch those shows and say to yourself, yeah, that's how it should be done. And WWE could do that too, because you're so invested in Bayley. She got so close so many times. You know, Sasha Banks is the one that stomped on her hand as she was on the edge of the cliff. So damn it, I want to see her win. She won. This is great. And she almost fell on her head. I mean, those little kind of things are what get people invested.
What diva got over in the match with 9 divas at the ring? Nine, folks.
Yeah.
I think you know. I was tweeting about that time, and I said something to the effect of, "The hair extensions are everywhere."
Yeah. You know what? It's funny too, because Mike Epsenhart on my site, he does a great job, and he is like a student of Jim Cornette and that give me something logical kind of booking. It's great that Stephanie's telling us the Divas Revolution is starting. It's great that Triple H is telling me that. You know what, though? On Saturday night, I watched the Divas Revolution, and on Sunday night, Sasha Banks was part of the first team out. You know, and she did a couple of nice things. But who should have been pinned? The champion. Because Charlotte's pinned her, Sasha's pinned her, Becky Lynch should have pinned her last night if that's how it was going to go down, but Becky Lynch pins Brie. See, to me, Jim, and I'm old school in this way, and I'll never change. To me, it's about that big thing in the middle of the building, and it's about that piece of gold that the top person's got around their waist. Everyone should want it. And, yeah, I can be Charlotte Flair, I can be Paige, I can be Becky Lynch, and we can be friends, but when it comes to being the best, no, then that's where we're going to have some issues. And that's what's missing from the Divas Revolution.
Yeah, logical booking would have had the champion drop the fall in all the chaos. Wouldn't hurt her a bit. It would have given the announcer something solid to build on as far as who won and who took the fall. I'm ready for the factions to focus on the factions to lessen, and the focus on the personal issues in the Divas division to be more enhanced. Are you there yet?
I'm total, and it's funny too because, like I mentioned, my buddy Mike Epsenhart, we do a show every Saturday on my site, and you know he said this to me about 2 weeks ago. He's like, you know what? It's already losing steam to me, and I was like, well, let's get through Survivor Series, or excuse me, SummerSlam, and we'll see where it goes from there. But he's totally right, and you're totally right. The title belt is what matters, and it's like, yeah, we can be friends, but we're not going to be. You know, you know what it's kind of like. It's kind of like the other night. And I need a little Sooner love from you for Sam Bradford and DeMarco Murray so they make it through the season for my Philadelphia Eagles this year. The other night, Terrell Suggs didn't necessarily do, a nasty illegal hit. It's borderline. But you know what? If he did it and he grabs his hand and picks him up, that's how it's got to be. You know, okay, we can be friends after the play is over, but while everything's in play, I want to be the champion. You want to be a champion. We have an issue. We both want the same thing.
Yeah, I think so. I just going into it, I said that the only thing positive that I know is going to happen is that 9 different females will get some television time. They got more match time than I thought they would be allotted, but the creative was backwards. There was just no reason not to beat Nikki Bella in that environment. And I also don't think people got to start turning on each other. But the focus has got to turn strictly to the championship and women trying to, how do you earn a title match? You know, I did this in Mid-South because, and UWF, I think UWF when we started it, we did a weekly rankings on TV.
I remember that. Yeah, you did.
Top 10. And I think that the WWE, do they still do that Power 25 or something?
They might do it on the website, but again, if it's not right in front of my face when I'm one of the 3.5 to 4 million people watching on Monday night, did it really happen? It's like a tree falling in the park.
Yeah, you're right. I'll tell you something. I ranted about that But you know, the UFC didn't have a top 10 for a long time.
Yeah.
And then they started having a top 10, which is another step back into the territory days of wrestling for UFC. They have a top 10. They have time limits. You know, things that they have angles that work in a natural progression of guys working their way to a title shot, and then a number one contender.
And what if number 8 beats number 2? Then all of a sudden number 8 isn't number 8 anymore, is it?
No, it's great.